lost to Georgia State. To Georgia State.
Sitting here again talking about the same things.
Hey, Red, did you hear the news?
Depends. Which news?
I heard potentially that Marcel Reed ran another QB draw.
You know what? I think the odds are very likely that he did that.
Perhaps, perchance, potentially
Perchance.
so.
Indeed.
Good day, everybody. Welcome back to another grand old episode of the FBS Report. And oh boy, do we got a lot of FBS to go over this week. Red, why don't you tell them what that stands for? Why don't you?
It stands for the practices and policies of one Walt Disney Company. Fucking bullshit! Because I was in an utter war with Disney this weekend, trying to do what you seem to be able to do so effortlessly. Make a video about the college football playoffs. Twice I got blocked.
Mm-hmm.
Twice they told me to piss up a rope. Twice I had to put a wall of text in front of a filtered background on a zoom in fucking shot. And just to tell people, hey, you got to go to the Patreon to watch the actually not fucked up version of the video. So here's what I got to say to the Mouse House. Shove it up your fucking ass, Mickey.
Dadgum. In case y'all wondering how that works, basically YouTube has this system. It's called the Content ID system, and it's a way to protect copyrighted stuff, especially during live broadcasts. Because you know the way it's supposed to go is obviously you're not supposed to live stream the games as they're happening. But people after the games are over make highlight reels and stuff like that. The issue is that the Content ID system kind of picks and chooses because it's automatically automated. So it sort of picks and chooses which channels to sort of go after. And it happened to me plenty of times before. Last year when I was working on my it happened to me like twice like last year, so I know exactly what Red's going through. Content ID, bit of a pain in the booty. I'll say that much. What's so stupid about it is that like the day after the game, everything works just fine, or at least it should in most cases. Wasn't that way for
me,
Red.
Actually, I tried a few times today and it was still giving me the blocks. So I don't fucking know what the deal is right now. Why Disney's bot is so hard up my ass, but it's fine, honestly, because it only ever happens with new footage. Because like you said, once we get about a few days out, then they quit caring as much. But then again, I don't think that it would be wise for me in terms of growing the channel to wait until the following Friday to make a video about college football games that happened the weekend of. It's kind of a time-sensitive thing because, of course it is. No one's going to give a shit about Oklahoma versus Alabama or Texas A&M Miami on Saturday, the week after the game happens. It's ridiculous. And it's not be like, I could give a shit less about the monetization. Fuck the money. I'm not here for the fucking money. Just let me be creative. It's fair use. I don't claim any sort of footage that I've ever used from these games I've done over the years. But God, I could rant and I could bitch and I could moan, but I'm not going to do that.
And you could boo-hoo. Yeah.
I will not.
We'll leave it at that and call it a day, because the good thing about YouTube for both of us is that both of our channels over this past weekend hit some significant milestones in our careers. So of course, from me and Red to y'all, thank y'all so much for getting us to our crazy milestones that we hit just recently. Red, obviously, he made it to 10,000 subscribers. Congratulations, Red. Good work, buddy.
Thank you.
Good work.
Thank you. Finally in the five-figure club. Hell yeah.
Welcome. I'm glad you're able to make it, brother.
And congratulations to Squidtard, the man, the myth, the legend, for hitting 250,000, 25,000 subscribers. Hell,
And a million more on the way. The Targaryen Empire shall continue to expand. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I know one thing that'll be said about our rapid growth over this season.
Whoa, Nelly.
Indeed. Whoa, Nelly.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right. Well, we've got some stuff to get through today. Of course, we're going to talk about all the playoff games and everything that happened in those because, well, we got a lot to go over on that regard.
Yep.
Of course, the quarterfinal matches are finalized, but we probably won't get into much of that since that's 2 weeks down the road. We'll probably wait until next week. And today would probably be a particularly short episode. Everybody's preparing for their holiday celebrations. Christmas is coming up very, very soon. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to be doing all my Christmas shopping and everything else in between. So,
fuck, tomorrow?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
You
yeah. No,
should've
there's
been
no other time to do it.
Dude, like you should have been smart and just got it done during the James Madison and Tulane football games because that's what I did.
Everything was daggum closed. I couldn't. The game didn't kick off until. Well, I didn't get off of my live stream because I did a members only live, and I didn't get off until the second half started because, well, the first half was obviously an evisceration, particle acceleration beyond anything we've ever seen. But
yes, gratification in its finest.
That's exactly right. Well, before we get into that, we got a few more updates about coaching carousels and transfer portal stuff to get through. And of course, there's so many transfers since the window is open. So we'll only get through the important stuff and the stuff that has any sort of national relevance. First off, Jose Blanco with the 5. Thank you, buddy. Says, just a reminder that if Virginia didn't throw the game into Dookie double coverage, JMU and Tulane wouldn't be in the playoffs. Tulane would still be in it. But you're right. You're half right. James Madison would not be in it.
Yes. I don't even think if Duke only had 4 losses, they would have made the playoff, though. Like, the playoff committee will never put a team in with 4 losses. They'll let a 3-loss Alabama in because it's Alabama, but they'll never let a 4-loss ACC team in. Mark my words, they wouldn't.
Well, Virginia. If Virginia had won, though, they'd be in over James Madison. They were ranked higher, and they were conference champions, so they would have gotten in over James Madison.
Yeah, I guess.
I know. It wouldn't have mattered. The same result would have come. They would have just gotten the anal sphinctering from Oregon, but that's they at least would have been able to say that they won the ACC and they were there. That's all they would have been able to do.
Because right now, all Duke's doing is tickling Tony the Tiger's nutsack over in El Paso right now for the Sun Bowl, and they're going to be happy as a clan. They don't give a shit.
Let me ask you this, Red, because I'm curious.
Sure.
Have you done an official poll yet on your dumbass of the season?
I have not, because I already have the dumbass of the season in mind.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's not anybody on your fucking poll either.
Okay.
It's UMass. It has to be fucking UMass. The Minutemen went 0-12. You cannot fuck up any harder. You're at the bottom of the fucking MAC. You can't even win one goddamn game. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit. That is like you've been independent for nearly a decade. You finally get to a conference, and you got steamrolled by everybody, including Akron and Kent State. Fuck off. Like, it has to be. I'd say UMass 10 times over. I know Penn State and Clemson had high expectations and worthy members of Clown of the Season finalists. But I'm sorry, man. You put up the 0-12. You are 100% the dumbass of the season in my book. And they're getting a video just because of that.
I'll be glad to announce here on Squidtard Sports that they are also getting a video from me. In fact, it's going to be out this week. So stay tuned for that.
Ooh, you beat me to it. Well done.
I guess so. First off, Electro, thank you for the 5. Says the Kansas City Chiefs come 2031 would just be the Kansas Chiefs because one thing, money talks, a bullshit walks.
Damn
Ain't
right.
that for certain. And then Rangav, thank you very much for the 20, sir. Says G5 got the built to ass treatment for 3 reasons why they must stay. Number 1, no conference champions hurts the profits of the Power 4. Number 2, the state of Utah will sue the NCAA. And then like the 3 national championship formats. And then number 3, Notre Dame vindication. Enough said.
Indeed.
Oh, very good points. Very good points. Well, since Red announced his dumbass of the week, I'll go ahead and let you guys know. Of course, there's still time in the poll, but they're running away with it in shining colors. Our official 2025 clown of the season is Penn State. Congratulations.
You are a clown show.
Congratulations. You know what? Just for that. Just
We can't be fighting over the soundboard now.
No.
I put this shit in here on Saturday during the pain and suffering of Miami. But congratulations, Penn State. Well fucking done, you dumbasses of Nittany Lions. God damn it. Happy Valley has another title for the first time in many years. It's just not the one you wanted. So good job.
Came in as the preseason number 2 team and 2 of the best running backs, talented defense, and experienced line on both fronts. And then they gave up 6 straight losses, including 42 points to Nico Amadalivia. So, yeah.
I mean,
you earned it.
They were in the semifinals of the playoffs last season and barely lost to the fucking Irish in the Orange Bowl. And then James Franklin gets fired midway through the season. Like, the ineptitude and bullshit and fuckery that we saw at Penn State this season, it's going to get studied. That's another team. I have a lot of people on my shit list. Oklahoma joined the shit list this weekend, by the way. They're going to get a very nice little lobotomy in short order, I'd say. But, I mean, Penn State, probably the biggest disappointment of the college football season. They may as well have gone 0-12, in my opinion. Would have been the same results.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely.
They wouldn't be playing Clemson in the most sicko pinstripe bowl to ever fucking exist. They got the preseason number 2, and I think that was the preseason number 3, Clemson. Am I right? Two preseason top
Clemson
5
was
teams
number
in the
4.
Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah,
Okay,
Clemson was
so
number
2
4.
preseason top 5s playing in the Pinstripe Bowl. Fucking chef's kiss. And it guarantees one of them is going to have a losing season at the end of it.
Yeah, no. I mean, even if Penn State beats Clemson, I think it was pretty obvious by most that they had a higher ceiling. Both of those teams were projected to go really, really high this year. I mean, even Clemson, you know, they had the ACC gift wrapped in their possession because everybody else in there was terrible. And they could have blown a game and still would have been fine. However, they lost. I mean, they lost 5 games. Absolutely terrible. So I thought it was going to be a closer race than what it was, but Penn State really ran away with it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that's partially because of the fact that it got so bad at Penn State. They fired their head coach, and then they had no idea who the fuck to replace him with because all the options they had kept on getting extended. Matt Rule, extended. Signetti, extended. You know, they went on and on and on until finally they stumbled into Matt fucking Campbell because hey, nobody knew his fucking phone number, and it took a friend of a friend of a friend to get a hold of his ass to go to Penn State. Like, that is how does one fuck themselves into Matt Campbell? That is impressive amounts of bullshit and fuckery.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, you're absolutely right on that one. And before we get into anything else, you guys have been asking for updates on this particular notion. The public protest in regards to the Music City Bowl. So here's the deal with that. We haven't got it finalized just yet. So I'm currently in discussion about it. I'll know by tomorrow what we're gonna do. But 99% this is happening. So this is what I was thinking about the public protest. All right. Here's the thing. Why? Because this question's been going on in my head for a while. Why would I go and protest somewhere in random location, Knoxville, to protest the Music City Bowl when I can just go straight to the source? That's the question I was asking myself.
It makes sense.
So in layman's terms, Squidtard is heading to Nashville.
Hey.
I will be attending the Music City Bowl.
Hey.
I never thought I'd be forced to go back, but here I am. That is where I will be on the 30th. So the public protest in question will be my attendance to the Music Shitty Bowl.
Nothing like protesting a decision by giving them your fucking money, eh, Squid?
Oh, yeah. Talent fee coming through in the clutches, everybody would
Talent
say.
fee wins.
Talent
in
fee.
the end.
So look for the mustard bottle if you're in attendance. Also, you'll
shit.
find your boy Squidtard.
Yes.
Yeah, or look for just a sort. If your dumbass sensors ever go off, just know that I'll be attending with the Volstar podcast gang. If not the whole gang, then absolutely Lucas. He's or Wolverine, as you guys know him. He'll be coming along with me.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, have fun
it's gonna
with that.
it's gonna be
Great.
spectacular. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be absolute hell more than likely. But I will be there to watch Josh Heupel give belt to cheeks to Burt Bielema.
Well, you hope.
I do hope you are.
They better fucking do it, man. Like if Brett Bielema comes in and wipes the Volunteers' asses with his own fucking face, it's gonna be fucking awful, dude. Like the molding I will see from you to start 2026 off is going to feed families on this show for the next week.
I don't know. Well, no, since Tim Banks is no longer a factor, I don't see that being a possibility where they just come in and then just drag us up and down the field.
Let me ask you this, okay? Does getting rid of Tim Banks mean that much of an upgrade before Jim Knowles can even take over?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
let me
you really hate that fucker, don't you?
let me no, I don't even just hate him. He just sucks at his job. That's all it is.
You know what's
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's the truth. The dadgum used condom would be a better defensive coordinator than Tim Banks. See, he even walked off. He knows there's nothing there. What you're looking at over on red screen, that dadgum chair is a better defensive coordinator. It's just the reality of the situation. I don't hate the guy. Like, I don't have any personal vitriol against him. He just sucks at his job. That's all there is to it. Have fun with that, Auburn. He's your problem now. Dummies. Can you believe Auburn is forced to go through with that? I couldn't even imagine. Wait a minute. Yes, I could. It's me, Taco. Thank you for the 5. Says every team who went 5-7 and worse should be dumbass of the season for flopping horribly. That Delaware, Missouri State had to be included. That is true. That is true. That's pretty bad. That's pretty horrendous. I can't argue with that. There's plenty of other options. We could have given it to Luke Fickell in Wisconsin, especially Wisconsin, for keeping him around for another year. Same goes for Boston College.
No, I mean, I think Wisconsin also saw the writing on the wall when, they started to see the big names flying off the board and in, big programs, I should say, looking for new coaches. They saw the writing on the wall, like, okay, we're not going to be able to get like hardly anybody in here. And also, to be fair, I don't think if they had fired Luke Fickell, it would have solved all their problems either. They got a lot more going on than just the head coaching position, I think, in Wisconsin. And it's everything top to bottom is just rotten. Firing the head coach, if anything, just kind of pours gas on the fire. It doesn't really help it much. So it's like the players they get are not good. So they need to get there. Nope. They need to get better players, number one. The only way you're going to get better players is get more investment, and the only way you're going to get more investment is stability. So that's probably what the strategy is there. So we'll see what happens.
Exactly right. Can't say much else than that.
Gamers, hell fucking no. I will not go and coach that cheese-riddled fucking shithole. Absolutely not.
Aye. All right, well, here's some news for you, some quick updates, again, before we get into the playoffs. Michigan's one way out, unfortunately for them, has signed a new extension with Arizona State. So Kenny Dillingham, he has agreed to a new contract at Arizona State. Sorry, Michigan, your one way out just vanished. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm just letting you know now. It's going to happen. I don't know what else to tell you.
I don't know who else Michigan turns to now, really. I don't like. There's a good chance that they say, fuck it, we'll run with Biff Poggi for a year as interim coach. They might
He's
have.
making a
I
run
don't.
for it.
I mean, they could go after Brian Kelly, but that's also going to mean that after National Signing Day, Brian Kelly's going to come in and upend the entire staff, put guys that he wants in there, get rid of everybody else, which might not be a bad idea considering what the fuck went down with Sharon Moore. But do you really, if you're Ward Manuel, do you really want a massive shakeup at head coach or the entire coaching staff right now when there might be only 1, 2, 3 bad eggs left and you can just easily get rid of those fuckers? I don't think so. Like, I think let's see how Michigan does in the bowl game. That might be Biff Pogge's audition.
Yeah, I guess we're due to find out, aren't we? That's all we can do.
But the longer this goes on, I will say that Texas is looking kind of scary against Michigan right now. As much as I hate to say that, just
uh-oh.
I know.
Say it ain't so.
They're more well put together right now than Michigan is. Michigan's an absolute train wreck.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's gonna be some serious work for them going forward. I know that for a fact. It might be some bad years upcoming. We'll find out in due time.
We will catch those bastards on the rivalry record yet, I tell you.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, here's a transfer portal update for you. A couple of transfer portal updates. First off, Iowa State man Rocco Purdy. Rocco Beck now, as he's no longer at Iowa
who
State.
the fuck is Rocco Purdy, Squid?
Brother, that's the funny. That's the funny because he's at Iowa State. But yes, anyway, it's no longer Rocco Purdy. It's Rocco Beck. Thank you, because he just hit the transfer portal. So I don't know where he's gonna go. I have no idea, but good luck, best of luck to you.
I mean, Michigan could come calling, considering they're probably going to lose Underwood in the portal, I would imagine, unless he's not going to declare. And that could be one I don't know. Potentially. Maybe if they actually open up the coffers, Arizona State, since they just rehired Dillingham and he made a public plea, please, somebody, send me a $20 million check. Like, yeah, I mean, right. There's plenty of, snowbirds in Arizona with that much money laying around, but shit.
Dumb Gamers with the 2 says Michigan fans love Red for Michigan head coach. Yeah.
Apparently half of my fan base is Michigan fans, or so they tell me.
That's a spy right there. You can go in there and then just take the program down. It's like a Will Muschamp being a Georgia plant. You just take the program down from inside.
Yeah, I could just lead them to their first ever 0-12 season and be like, see, I'm fixing it. We got to burn it all down before we build it back up. In reality, I'm just burning it down, pissing on the ashes, and doing the rain dance.
Yeah, right. Whose downfall was worse, Mel Tucker or Sharon Moore? Sharon Moore, without a doubt.
Sharon Moore. My God, Sharon fucking Moore. Mel Tucker didn't go to jail.
Right.
Right there, that immediately is like, God damn.
Yeah, that tells the whole story. Well, along with our first transfer report, Rocco backed in the portal. South Florida's quarterback, Byron Brown. Now, this dude's a beast. He also hit the portal. He had he's got 4,000 total yards, 42 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. The dude is really good.
Yeah, he's probably going to be one of the top quarterback prospects in the transfer portal for this cycle. I would imagine he carried South Florida on his back the entire season. It was the Byron Brown show over there. I remember watching the first time I really got a good look at him was when he played the game against North Texas and they had their massive shootout in Denton. And my God, that dude he's got a laser for an arm that mocks as a cannon. Plus, he's fucking big. He's a big boy. Like, he'll run your fucking ass over if you're not tackling him right. And you're doing this little, this Tennessee tackle bullshit that you were bitching about.
Scooping the legs. That's what Auburn gets to look forward to. Speaking of which, that's where I think he's going. He's going to go back to be with Golish. Now that they lost Jackson Arnold, yes. I could absolutely see him bouncing over there. I think that's what's getting ready to happen.
He could single-handedly revive Auburn, at least give them a little bit of life this upcoming season, get them back to a bowl game. That would be a massive improvement and a big help for Golish in his first year.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be like basically a glass cannon this season. They're going to be really good. I think they'll be good offensively, pretty great offensively. And then the defense comes out, and then the D offense comes right back out afterwards.
Yep. Indeed.
Rengav with the 5, thank you, says, when did Belichick become an antichrist? Really? Bobby Petrino? Yeah, let's talk about that real fast. Yeah. Bill Belichick has added he's like assembling the Avengers of degenerates. He's got Bobby Petrino now along with himself and whatever else he's got there in North Carolina. Who knows how bad this gets before we actually get to the season? But yeah, just oh no. What do you think about that?
Here's how I feel about that. Season's over already, Tar Heels. Pack it in. Just don't even fucking try.
It's over. Get out.
It's
out.
Fucking over. Holy shit, Bobby fucking Petrino. 15 years after he was fucking good at his job. Good Lord. If Belichick can somehow take the Tar Heels to a bowl next year, that is going to be a damn miracle with what he's got right now. Who the fuck is going to North Carolina, even with Billy Belichick running the show, Jordan Hudson's wife, as you lovingly call him, and after all this bullshit, like, you could have all the goddamn money in the NIL that you want. I'm sure Michael Jordan's happily forking over hand and fist cash to try to help the Tar Heels along with other greats from that program in the basketball sector. Mm-hmm. Dude, I don't know how in the flying fuck Carolina gets it going. They need to make a big splash in the transfer portal. That's the only way they compete next year. This whole like, oh, we're going to recruit. Yeah, they're going to recruit, and you're going to be on the bottom of the barrel, maybe 6-6. Like, come on, bro. This is modern college football. Get with the program.
Right. And then Electro, we were about to just get into it. Notre Dame just had to cancel their series with USC in favor of BYU. They get the circus of the season. Well, no, they don't. But no, I mean, they are. That the whole crying thing is getting absolutely ridiculous. So, yes, Notre Dame, of course, they did not continue their series. They did not continually extend their series with USC. And so they had to find a new man on the schedule to go with. And, of course, because of all the narratives around them being too scared to play in the Pop-Tart Bowl against BYU, they went ahead and scheduled them for the privilege of losing next season at BYU on the road. So have a great time with that. That's all I can say.
Yeah. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Get fucked, Notre Dame. This is just absolutely. I mean, you want to talk about the biggest sign that college football, as we know it, has changed forever. USC and Notre Dame have played each other annually, except for the COVID season, since 1926. That rivalry has fed families in college football for generations. And the fact that they could not come to an agreement is just as much of an insult to Notre Dame as it is to USC. Like, how in the fuck can you justify with me an independent football team not able to schedule an out-of-conference matchup with a Big Ten team when that is like literally what you're known for doing? It's not that fucking hard to come to an agreement. I heard that it was because USC wanted to play Notre Dame earlier in the season, and Notre Dame didn't want to do that. But at the same time, it's like, you guys have played each other early in the season before. What the fuck's the problem now? All of it is just stupid. It's dumb. And it shows me two things. Number one, while we love this game, it can suck sometimes. It is a business after all. And two, we need 2 more games in a season. I'm dead set on that now. We need 14-game regular seasons in college football to accommodate both the larger conferences and to save these rivalries that, hey, it makes you guys a lot more money in the process too. Fucking money talks, bullshit walks, right? Right. On the other hand, I am very much looking forward to BYU and watching some Mormons versus the Catholics beating the shit out of each other. Well, I should say BYU beating the shit out of the Catholics because they're going to get their asses whipped after getting spurned by Notre Dame at the Pop-Tarts Bowl, Walter. Oh, God. It's going to be Just like a Pop-Tart, it's going to be delicious.
Yeah, now something to keep in mind for those of you who don't know Notre Dame's full schedule, they actually need one more spot. Their schedule is not complete yet. Now they do play a bunch of dead in the water doo-doo programs, but they also play Miami and BYU. They're probably going to lose both those games. They're probably going to the last team they're going to schedule is probably going to be some academy. It's going to be somebody like Rutgers or something. Watch. So you know what that means? They're going to go 10-2 again, not have any quality opponents on their schedule, and they're probably going to be short of the playoffs again.
Actually, honestly, if they were smart, they'd schedule UConn, the only other independent team in the country right now. I mean, that would be quote unquote an easy game because UConn's coming into a new season with a new head coach after Jim Mora fucked off. So I mean, easy opponent right there to schedule. It's not like they got to worry about conferences. I mean, their schedule next season isn't like a cakewalk in a sense. Like Wisconsin and Green Bay, that's going to be a game, but that's also like no one's going to fucking pay attention to Notre Dame beating up Wisconsin. Yeah, you said Miami. SMU is always going to be tough. BYU being at it's going to be tough. But then after that, it's Rice, it's Sparty, it's the Boilermakers, it's Navy, it's Boston College, it's the fucking Wall of Trees, it's the Orange. Like, they got to – I would say right now I'm waiting to see which SEC team pulls a fast one and grabs Notre Dame at the last minute. Because they did say SEC teams need to start scheduling either another Power 4 conference opponent or Notre Dame.
Well, it's not going to be us, I'll tell you that much. We've got Georgia Tech to play in Atlanta. So
it ain't going to be y'all. I'm thinking I'm not even thinking like Alabama or Georgia or something because those are like highly sought after. I'm thinking guys like maybe a Mizzou, maybe a Kentucky, maybe something like that. Not like a blue chip SEC.
I want to do if I'm Kentucky. You've already got to play. I know they've already got to play Louisville, so they've got that going for them.
That's the rivalry.
Yeah, I know. They need all the easy wins they can get, man. It's Kentucky. Come on.
I don't know. Maybe they'll pick up somebody maybe they'll pick up Northern Illinois. They're going to need a little bit of an ass whooping after going to the Mountain West this year.
Pick up Northern Illinois. That'd be a great idea.
Wait a minute.
Please let them pick up Northern Illinois. I'll be in full support of that. Absolutely be in full support of that. No doubt about it.
Indeed. All right.
Let's cut all the other shit out of here. Let's get into the meat of the show. The college football playoff first round games are finalized. We got 4 very interesting results to go through. We're going to go through all of them one at a time. And where else to start other than Friday night's game between Alabama and Oklahoma? Bama got the revenge as we said they would. 34-24 win. And Oklahoma, this is why they get the name Choklahoma, because my goodness, did they have a full-on collapse or what? I mean, in that first quarter, that first 15 to 20 minutes of that game was all Sooner. They were running away with it. Had they scored again, which they very well had the opportunity to, Mateer had a guy wide open down the field, and he threw right to him, threw him right on the money, and it was dropped. He completely whiffed on, I think it was Xavier Robinson who dropped it. It was a horrifically bad drop. Had they probably got that and got up 24-7 or 24-0, whatever it was, that probably would have won the game right there. I think that would have been the bat-breaking play. But Bama, after that play, sort of capitalized on the momentum on their side, and then just by that point just ran away with it. And I think the big backbreaker for Oklahoma was that final drive in the second half, and then the pick, the pick six. That's what pretty much led them to. Xavier Brown, that dude's an absolute unit. The pick by Xavier Brown, that pick six, I think was what gave Bama all the momentum going into the second half. And then past that point, they ran away with the whole thing, even with only 28 rushing yards. They only had 28 total rushing yards. Oklahoma dominated in overall yardage. They had like over 350 yards. Bama didn't even reach 300. They dominated in total yardage, but the problem was they could just never capitalize on it, especially in the second half, because John Mateer was basically running around for his life the entire game, literally the entire game. Alabama finished the day with 5 sacks. 7 TFLs. But past that point, I mean, his whatever offensive line Oklahoma pretended they had in that game vanished in that second half. They had nothing going for them there. And so they just completely collapsed. Bama took advantage of it. The Tide is going on to play Indiana in the quarterfinals in the Rose Bowl. And Oklahoma will be going home again for the 5th time now. Oklahoma is 0-5 all time in the playoffs. Proves you don't even need a Lincoln Riley to suck in the playoffs. Terrible, terrible performance. What do you think, Red?
I mean, it's not even just 0-5 in the playoffs. You go all the way back to the last time they did win a national championship, which was 2000 against Florida State in the worst goddamn Orange Bowl to ever be oranged, which ended 13-2, I might add. They're 0-8 in games that mattered for the national championship. And I'm talking about 3 BCS national championship appearances, 1 loss to LSU, 1 loss to USC, and then another BCS loss to Tim Tebow's Florida Gators that happened in the BCS era. And then they have gone 0-5 in the playoffs. Not to mention they've done a couple of funny things like lose to Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl in between that. I honestly it stunned the fuck out of me how quickly everything caved in for the Sooners. Normally, when a college football team collapses and they lose momentum and they lose the lead, it's gradual. It takes a few drives. The offense quits producing. The opposing offense makes adjustments and is able to get around the defense. The defense cannot adjust fast enough. Normally, that's how it happens. This was muffing up their own punt because the punter was, I don't know, he ate popcorn on the sidelines or something before he went out there. Throwing a pick 6 and Alabama just coming to life on offense in the final 5 minutes to tie it at 17 going into the half. Oklahoma did not regroup at all in the second half whatsoever. They came out flat and got absolutely demolished by the Tide. And by the time they started to show some life late in the fourth quarter, man, it was just too late. Alabama had all the momentum in the world. They had the confidence. They had the swagger. It was same old Alabama. I don't know if you're Brett Venables, what else you could do here to fix the fucking team. Because now you're starting to think about, okay, we're really starting to be embarrassed here. I know, like, they're in the SEC now. There's nowhere to fucking hide. There's not a weak-ass North Division waiting to save you in the Big 12 right now. This is at the SEC, and there's no divisions. So it's put up or shut up every single week. And because of that, you got less room for error. You got beat by Texas, which is bad enough. You did beat Alabama. There were signs of life, but your offense was absolutely decimated. So you start with the offense and you get that fucking shit figured out, strip it all the way down to the fucking studs and get it fixed. Because if your offense is at least 50% better next season, you might actually make a fucking run in the playoffs. But I doubt it because you're in the SEC. And as we all know, it's probably one of the toughest and deepest conferences in college football. It's really, really bad spot to be in if you're Oklahoma right now. Really bad.
Well, I'm glad that even you agree that this is a different league, not a conference, different league.
I'm not an idiot. Like, what do you want me to say? Oh, Illinois and Oklahoma are on the same level because they are both like it. I'm not I'm a cynical fucker, okay? I'm a realist here. I know in the Big Ten, there are only like at best 4 teams, maybe 5 that could have an argument to make for the national championship every year at most. The SEC, it's like 7 or 8. So I mean, the Big Ten used to be deep like that years ago, but the SEC has been deep like this for the better part of the last decade. So, you know, it is what it is, man.
Exactly right. Couldn't say it better myself. Yeah, no, okay. 98 Doom with the 5. Thank you. Says, would it be weird if conferences shares teams? Like if a team spends one season in the Big 10, then Big 12 next year, then back in the previous next year? Yes, that would be pretty stupid.
Yeah,
that would be really stupid because imagine Imagine how stupid it would be to be like a team, for example, Oklahoma, to spend a year in the Big 12, make a playoff run, and then all the Big 12 gets all the money, and you go to the dadgum SEC and lose whatever money you got. Yeah,
and then on the other side of that coin there, imagine if you're the SEC and you got to trade with the Big Ten. All right, so Big Ten, you're going to get Vanderbilt for a season, and SEC, you get Rutgers. Have fun.
Yeah, what a great idea. What a great idea. I'm sure that would pan out just magically. You know what else panned out magically? Not this game right here. We had we're going to go talk about these real fast because let's be honest, this one went exactly as expected because we've already seen this game before. We literally saw this exact same game in the regular season. Same personnel. The only difference was there was no Lane Kiffin. But that's it. It's still a different league. Still Lane very, very different.
The weather was a little colder. That's it.
Exactly right. But yeah, this was an absolute domination. Ole Miss ran away with it by the third quarter. Jake Retzloff wasn't able to do anything against the defense of Ole Miss, which was the only surprising thing that happened here was that I thought Tulane was going to be a little more loud on the offensive front, but they could never get it going. At no point in the game could they ever do it. But yeah, no, Trinidad Chambliss had a great day. Kawan Lacey had 87 yards and a touchdown. There isn't much more you can ask from Ole Miss. I mean, they had their starters rested by the fourth quarter. They sent out Austin Simmons out there by that point. And yeah, it was pretty obvious who was going to win this game by the time you got to the second half. There was just way too much talent on the team. They weren't about to go down. Even when Tulane tried different things, nothing, whatever they did, it never worked out for them up until garbage time when they finally scored a touchdown. But that's all they did. So yeah, it went just about as you expected. We saw this in literally the exact same thing before. So that's all there is to it.
Yeah, I got nothing to add right this moment. I'll have plenty to add here in a minute about the whole situation in general because I know where we're leaning to. But let's get to the other game. Yeah, and then we'll start. Right. We'll fully drill into this because I know this has been a very well thought out and productive conversation all weekend.
Yeah, but by some of us, not all of us. I'll say that much. Yes.
Dishonor on your whole family. Make a note of this. Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow.
Yeah, all of you that fucking bitch on Twitter.
Crazy. Yeah, we'll get into that in just a minute. But yeah, the other playoff game. Now, we didn't see this one in the regular season, James Madison and Oregon, but don't let the score deceive you. Do not let the scoreboard deceive you. Yes, James Madison scored 34 points. Congratulations to them. It was against Oregon's 12 strings. While they did score a bunch of points, the game was over by the half. I mean, Oregon decimated whatever was left of this team. It was they pretty much atomized this poor James Madison squad. And I thought they put up a way better fight because I thought their defensive line was really, really impressive when they went up against all those other teams that they played in the Sun Belt. But it proves, again, different leagues principle. You can never fight against it. Oregon basically ran away with this thing, did whatever they wanted to. Dante Moore had himself an incredible day. 4 touchdowns, only threw 2 picks in garbage time. Jordan Davidson, Dyer Hill, Noah Whittington. They had 92 different guys running the football, and all of them had a pretty good day. But yeah, no, they could literally send Malik Benson on a streak route right now, and he's gone for a touchdown. Oregon did pretty much whatever they wanted to offensively. There was no way James Madison was ever going to come back, even if Oregon just rested their starters the entire way through. So, they gave it a good fight. But now, of course, the whole thing about this now is that both of the G5 teams got blown out. They were both extremely uncompetitive games. And they were over by like the second quarter. So in a lot of people's minds, especially the talking heads over on Twitter and all the analysts on SportsCenter, or at least the majority of them. Yeah. They, of course, the major consensus is that, well, the group of 5 is useless. They'll never do anything in the playoffs. It's always going to be a blowout. We need to keep blowouts away from the college football playoffs. And I'm like, if we got to keep the G5 teams away because of blowouts, that means you got to do the same thing to Michigan State, Tennessee, all the ACC teams with the exception of Miami, Cincinnati, Who else? That one time Ohio State did it.
TCU.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, especially TCU gave up 58. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So the point is, it's not about the blowouts. Everybody was okay with this from the start. You bring in 5 conference champions. You bring in 5 conference champions. One of them is automatically going to be a G5. It just so happens this time there was 2 G5s because the ACC is a dumpster fire. Congratulations, you let in James Madison. They get beat down, but they made it. And even if Virginia had won, guess what? The same thing probably would have happened because Oregon is just that much better. It's about the better team. That's all there is to it.
If Duke had got in here, if they let Duke in, because
right.
they won a conference, so conference champions, regardless of record, get in or do that. Yeah, sure, you're gonna let a 5-loss Duke in the playoff. Come on, it's an even bigger clown show than what the fuck this was.
That's exactly right.
Look, I defended James Madison hard on Saturday, and I went on X and I said from my perch to Joel Klatt, respectfully, shut the fuck up. Because genuinely, the arguments being made by people like him are so short-sighted. It is absolutely stupid that these guys are being paid hundreds of thousands of dollars on salary to spew this nonsense. So I'm not going to get into this game because we saw what we saw, right? I want to commend James Madison for doing something that Tulane didn't do against Ole Miss. James Madison went out on their shields. They didn't just take it. They gave Oregon all that they could. They gave Oregon every ounce of fight that they had in their team. And Oregon, it was reported by many people after the game, was actually kind of pissed off that they let James Madison put up 34 points on them and 500 yards of offense. They weren't happy about that. So I call that, in terms of a team that nobody wanted in the playoff, nobody thought had a chance and frankly didn't have a chance, I call that a win. You still get all the fucking revenue from being in the playoff. You got to compete with the big boys. You got to legitimize 4 years into the FBS from FCS. If you're the Dukes, you're on cloud fucking 9. You take the ass whipping and you smile and you say, you know what? We made it. Fuck off everybody else. We did what Notre Dame couldn't do, what Texas couldn't do, what Vandy couldn't do, what BYU couldn't do. Make the playoffs. Based on the current rule set and the structure, that's what they got. Now, about that structure, it's got to change. I'm not stupid enough to say here that's like, oh, it's perfect right now. It's not. I think, Squid, you and I are on that same boat. I really want to know, Squid, I got to ask you this. What do you think is the answer here? Because we're not stupid. We know blowouts are going to happen in the first round. Nobody in their right mind actually thinks they can get rid of blowouts in the first round of the college football playoff. Anybody that actually knows sports. But I think we agree that situations like this where 2 group of 5 teams get in, that frankly, only one of them should be there at most, letting them in like that probably isn't going to help anybody going into the future. I think we both agree there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what would you say is the answer here? Because I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to say, well, this guy said this guy said that. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, because that's going to get old quick. And I don't want to just be saying fuck you from the 10th layer of hell like I always am in. But we know bullets are going to happen. But how do we get a more perfect system? Because it's never going to be perfect, but a better.
Well, think about how we got here in the first place. You go back to the days of the BCS. People were mad at because there was only 2 teams in the national championship. They wanted to give some other guys a chance. So we go to 4 teams. We go to the 4-team playoff, select with a committee that selects all the teams. The complaints around that were, oh, well, it's only 4 teams, and none of them are ever going to be the group of 5 with the exception of Cincinnati. We need to give the little guy a chance because they had a really good season. Remember, they went 12-0 by playing a bunch of nobodies. They played Popeyes East every single week, but they won all their games, so we need to give them a chance. So after all that talk, we finally extended to a 12-team playoff, went beyond 6 and just went to 12. Went to a 12-team playoff, and now we've gotten the opportunity to see some G5 teams go out there, get their money's worth, and then get absolutely belted in the process. This is what the people wanted. They wanted to see the little guy have a chance. It's not a big chance. It's obviously seen every time they go out there and then get their ass handed to them. But it's a chance. So because this is the thing, people want to remove the G5, the whole conference champion auto bid. The way I think it should go is I think you should do the power conference auto bids and then the top group of 5 team and then just limit it to 1. That's what I would do. Let one G5 team in per year. Because if you get to a point where you don't let any of the G5 teams in any given circumstance, one of 2 things happen. 1, people get mad and they ask for an extension of the playoffs. The playoff committee eventually caves, and then we get 16, 24, 32. We get an even more ridiculous playoff outlook than what we already have. Or the other thing is the G5 as a whole league completely splits from the Power 4. So then you're going to have the Power 4 playing for a national championship and then the G5 playing for their own championship in a lower division league, which I can't exacerbate enough how bad that is for the G5, because think of how the money that they earn from playing these power teams, and especially once they get into like the playoffs and stuff like that, the bowl games, everything else, the money and all of that is extremely significant. And if you take that away from them, you're taking away most of their funding for the football program. It's exactly what happened to UAB. If that were to happen and the G5 has to separate, you're looking at a whole lot more UABs. That's all I can say about that.
UAB is a situation where not only were they getting, blasted on the field, the board of directors of the University of Alabama school system entirely conspired to kill UAB football. I remember Empire talking about that in one of his great videos a while back. That was more than just one thing. But this is where I'm going to disagree with you, Squid, because the group of 5 will never willingly break off from the rest of the Power 4. You want to know why? Exactly what you just said. The money. They break off from the FBS and form their own playoff. It's not going to generate nearly as much revenue. Their TV contracts will be suddenly worth a hell of a lot less than what they are now because they'll be seen as an inferior subdivision. They won't get bowl games because they'll just go into fucking playoff mode. And how many group of 5 teams are actually going to be able to qualify outside of the playoffs for a goddamn bowl? Not many. So the bowl system will stay in the FBS with the Power 4 conferences, if it even survives at that point. Finally, the group of 5 as a whole has been here before. They have been threatened by the power brokers at the top of college football. Back when we had the Bowl Coalition and the Bowl Alliance, when they were outright told, you're not allowed to play for the national title. Do you know what happened? Antitrust lawsuit. You know what happened? BCS is created from it. So you can't exclude the group of 5. You just can't. Unless everybody agrees to split, which they won't because there's a lot of goddamn money that would be lost for those group of 5 teams. You cannot eliminate the group of 5 from the conversation. It is a part of college football at this level. It is unfortunately a byproduct of having 136 teams in a single subdivision. You cannot, it's impossible. So how best do we fix this? How best do we make this happen? My idea is to just say fuck it to automatic bids entirely. Because clearly on a year-to-year basis, it's so volatile right now when you look at the transfer portals, the coaching situations of different teams and conferences as a whole. You cannot justify 4 automatic bids, 1 for each conference, when you got an ACC team over here that went 7-5 but won their fucking conference. There's no, in my opinion, that kills the argument for having automatic bids. So instead, just put the top 12 goddamn teams in there and let them go at it. And if the group of 5 happens to make the top 12, great. They're not excluded. But if they work hard enough and they play well enough to where they get into a top 12 situation, say like Boise State did last year, then they can get in. I think we should just, if you're going to eliminate automatic bids for the group of 5, it would have to be for everybody, because at that point, you're then putting down the group of 5 and you're opening yourself up to lawsuits, and that's discrimination. Unfortunately, that's just the legal side of it. So there's no easy answer either way. I'll be right back.
I guess just get Adeline out of here. Yeah, I will say this. I mean, he makes some really good points. The automatic conference bids, especially when you're like the ACC and are able to put like 3-loss, 4-loss teams in the playoffs because of it, there is a big hole in there. But if you remove the G5 entirely from the conversation, which is basically what you're doing, because you basically have to go undefeated in the group of 5, and if you're going to make the playoffs with no auto bids, that's just the way it is. So I think you should give the little guy a chance in every single conversation, because if you don't and you remove that entirely, what happens is there's always going to be a bunch of group of 5 people, a bunch of group of 5 fans who are going to go, 12-1 like James Madison did, be short of playoffs, cry to the committee, just nonstop. And then you get a scenario where they eventually cave, and then you get a 16-team playoff or 24 team or whatever else. And then we just get to a point where we're expanding every single year. And they're already having talks about expanding to 14 and all that. But I think at this point, you might as well just keep it the way it is. This satisfies all the parties with the exception of Notre Dame fans who are giant crybabies. Everybody else is pretty much satisfied with what happened. Either you make it in or you don't. That's how it should be. Either you make it in the 12-team playoffs, or reality is you aren't good enough. Maybe with the 14 playoff, you could argue, we had a really, really good year. We went 12-1. We were just short at number 5, won our conference, and then still didn't make it. So I think a lot of people are pissed at that, and rationally so. But if you're in a 12-team playoff and you don't make it, you just weren't good enough. You can only have so many excuses. Notre Dame, BYU, Vandy, Texas, don't lose 2, 3, 4, 5, however many games in a season, and then, I think you'd probably make it. That's the way it should be, but that's who knows if that won't be.
Yeah, and I know some people are going to be like, well, wait a minute, if you do it just like the straight 1 through 12, then you're going to have like 6 SEC teams make the playoff or some shit like that. Like, okay, if that happens, then that's what happened.
Oh boy, yeah, you're opening a big can of worms at that one.
No, here's the thing. Listen, here's the thing. I understand that if we just go through the top 12 teams in the country, regardless of conference, and there's no fucking like limits on which, then at that point, you have a situation where that could be the fact of life there, right? How bad do you want to have competitive games? Do you want it so bad that you're willing to risk half of the slate being just one conference? Are you willing to risk none of a single conference getting in to the powers? Are you willing to risk potentially 2 group of 5 teams sneaking in again because they got ranked 10th and 12th? Just saying, you don't know what the fuck's going to happen. We can't predict what the fuck's going to happen, because at the end of the day, this is not going to ever be perfect.
No,
nobody is ever going to walk away.
There's always going to be somebody crying about it every single year. You know what I mean?
Always going to be pissed.
I mean, even in 2022, dadgum Alabama was left out of the playoffs for going 10-2 because they lost 2 games in the regular season, was just shy of making the playoffs. And yet there were actually people crying because they didn't make it in. Even Tennessee fans that year were crying about it, even though we got any team that gets blown out by 30 by a barely bowl eligible South Carolina does not deserve to be in the playoffs, in a 4-team playoffs, that is. And obviously now the rules have changed to 12 teams, but we can only extend it so much to where we just have to come to the conclusion that if you don't make it into the big dance, you aren't good enough. Because this is something I talked about earlier. There is nobody on planet Earth that wants to see a 4-loss Iowa get drug up and down the field by somebody like Oregon in the national conversation. 8-4 Iowa does not belong anywhere near the national title conversation. They don't.
Correct. And the main thing I'll finish on here is, if you're not happy about the situation with the conferences right now, well, maybe, just maybe, somebody's going to come to their senses and they're going to break off the conferences. Because I can tell you this right now, the bubble's going to burst. when it comes to these mega conferences. There's a reason why when the WAC went to 16 teams in the late 90s, it fell apart. It wasn't just because they didn't have marquee big names. They had some pretty good teams in the WAC back then. They had some names. But the reason it fell apart was because of the fact that it was way too big and the money was not enough to go around and justify everybody being together. Mm-hmm. The Big Ten and the SEC right now are getting paid a fuck ton of money. But the Big Ten, I think, is the most fragile of all. They're getting paid by 3 different networks, NBC, CBS, and Fox. And CBS is getting left out in the fucking cold. They might take their shit and exercise their right to fuck off. And if that happens, it's going to be a massive wake-up call for the Big Ten. Now, though, people will be like, oh, they'll turn to private equity, they'll turn this, they'll that. You lose a network deal, all of a sudden your conference looks a hell of a lot weaker. SEC has one major deal right now, just one. It's ESPN and ABC. That's their home. If the Big Ten was smart, they should have stuck with Fox and gone one only, or they should have stuck with NBC, or should have stuck with CBS, not to be splitting all 3 hands and all 3 pots, especially with how weak the conference is right now. The only way I can see this ending is one of 2 ways. For the national championship conversation, a group of teams breaks away from a conference and forms a new one out of the super conference, goes independent like Michigan's threatened to do, or the networks start caving in because they cannot continue to justify this much money being paid in over fists to college teams. And then private equity steps in to fill the hole, and then that's not even going to be enough because this game is a fucking money pit. Mm-hmm. And then
NIL's doing it no justice either.
Well, and the NIL was going to happen eventually. Like, right. I saw NIL was going to be a thing 10 years ago when college football video games were being pulled off the shelves and everybody was realizing like what it really means to actually have amateur athletes, whatever the fuck that meant. Like there's no, the money is where it's going to go. Everything begins and ends in this sport with money. As much as probably people don't want to admit it, it's the truth. So money talks, bullshit walks. I feel like there's going to be a lot of bullshit walking here pretty soon for college football. There's going to be a day of reckoning at some point.
Oh boy, we're all going to be looking at the conference crash at 2027, aren't we?
Oh God,
boy!
Wait until the next media rights deal comes for the next mega round of media rights.
It's
deals.
soon. It's very soon, actually.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's very, very soon. I think I can't remember. I think Clemson and Florida State signed a new contract after all the lawsuits, but I think I think their TV deals, not with the CW, but their TV deals, I think they all expire this year or this upcoming year. So I think it's either that or 2027. I think Clemson and Florida State signed a deal though until like to be in the conference until like 2032.
ACC's major media rights deal is with ESPN. The biggest one they have is through 2036, but the original contract had a look-in period ending in 27. So the original period was going to end in 27, and they got extended out to 36. So for the ACC, nothing's going to change in the near future for them, unless the money they're getting from the ESPN is not enough, and they decide to try to renegotiate.
Yeah, that's what I would think could happen. Who knows with what the Big Ten and the SEC have got going on, but they're not in a position. They're not in a position to do that. The conference just sucks too much. There's just no way. Yeah. That's not even me trying to be funny. There's not enough people watching the ACC. If you go and look at all the people watching like all the games ranked from how much people watch them, the top 10 games are all SEC or Big Ten. It's the truth. Go look at it. It's all of them are either SEC or Big Ten. You got to go down a big list to where you'll find the Big 12 and the ACC. And if you do find it, it's only like one game in a particular season's that like ranked in the top 20. It's insane.
Yeah, but that's the fact of this whole situation here. Like the best teams, what I was hoping to see when NIL became a thing, what I was hoping to see was that the talent would be dispersed across more teams, the teams would become more evenly matched and more leveled out, and that we would have more competitive games and it would be a lot closer in ranking. What's actually happened is all of the schools with the most money bought all the players with the most talent and have consolidated all their talent into their little fiefdoms while leaving out all their bench players. that they originally had. That's what I fear is really going on, because that's not what I thought was going to happen at all. But that's apparently what is happening. Do I think that's going to continue? No. At some point, it's got to stop somewhere. I just don't know where.
Mm-hmm. I guess we'll find out in due time. We've been keeping our fake military school fans waiting long enough. Why don't we cover this last playoff game, shall we?
Sure thing.
Yeah, it's about that time. So, as much as we don't want to, there are some people saying that I should have made this a game of the dadgum century or whatever. And I'm like, you need help. Because what was this? This was a dreaded abomination of a football game. 0-0 at half. There weren't any points scored until early in the third quarter when Miami finally kicked a field goal and scored 3 points. This was a sleep fest from top to bottom. It was awful to witness. But what we do know is that Texas A&M has been spending the entirety of this season flirting with disaster, and it finally came back to bite them in the booty cheeks. It's just the reality of the situation with them, because when you spend the entire season playing a bunch of bottom feeders from the conference, you play Texas, get beat down by them, it's a clear wake-up call that you need to have some adjustments in plan before Miami comes to town, and they never had any. It was the same regurgitated whateverness they had on offense that bit them in the ass the first time. We lost Red. He'll be back shortly. It's the same problems that they've just been consistently having nonstop. Marcel Reed, the over-reliance on Marcel Reed's dual threat has been the exact thing that's been obliterating them throughout the entirety of the season. Nonstop quarterback draws, quarterback scrambles. He doesn't have a reliable receiver target other than Mario Craver. And the times that they did have him, all they did was just take screens. Literally every single time I saw Mario Craver, he was lined up on the sideline ready to take a screen. It was insane. He had one really good play, and that was that 59 long catch that he had. And that was a really good play, but it didn't result in anything. Texas A&M didn't get any points up on the board until finally the fourth quarter where they kicked the field goal. People are going to mention that the wind was a big problem in this game, and I do agree. The wind drove some of those field goals way away from anywhere near scoring, but that's not Marcel Reed not being able to throw the football. That's not on the dadgum wind. They can only use that as an excuse for so long, and the wind doesn't apply to one team. It applies to both of them. You best guarantee Carson Beck had his own problems as well. Now, I will say he successfully did not throw an interception in this game, and that's probably one of the peak things that I noticed from here is that Carson Beck somehow went into this game and did not throw an interception. The defense had a phenomenal day, though. They obliterated Marcel Reed throughout the entire day. Ruben Bain was all over him throughout the entire night, just like he's been to every other offensive line in the country. But yeah, no, he had a great day. Overall, the Miami defense just dominated in this game. Jacoby Thomas, Keontae Scott, both of them absolutely kicked ass. Ruben Bain, as previously mentioned, he had a great day. There wasn't much else you could say. And shout out to Bryce Fitzgerald. He was the game changer here. He not only had an interception that put Miami into a prime position in the first half, but he was the one who got the game-winning interception at the very end of the ball game. So I think Bryce Fitzgerald deserves a lot of credit for that. But yeah, Fate Military School goes down to Miami. They lose at home to the Hurricanes. Better alternative than going 8-4, but by how much, we ask ourselves, because you just let Mario Cristobal win his first big game for the first time in forever. So congratulations, A&M. You can go ahead and get out.
Yeah. God, where the fuck do I begin with this game here? I already did, actually. I'll sum it up. This was, without a doubt, the worst football game of the season that I personally live streamed on my channel. And that says a lot, because there's a certain hospital pizza game that my most loyal followers that were there that saw it live remember very well, and how much of a disaster class that was. I'm, of course, talking about the legendary Clemson Louisville clash that happened in week 12. This was far worse than that, because that had a lot more points A lot more points than this one, like double the amount of points. This was a defensive so-so performance on both sides, honestly. Miami's defense performed well until it didn't, and then it woke up again. A&M's defense performed well, but also Miami's offense was absolute trash. A&M would drive downfield on Miami's defense, and then they would either kick themselves in the dick or, fuck something up, either get a sack fumble, which was Marcel Reed's actual only mistake of the day. He got sack fumbled in the first quarter. Or they'll commit a stupid penalty or something along those lines, or get a kick blocked because the kicker decided to line drive the ball instead of kicking it like a normal fucking person. Both teams tried to beat themselves. Only one team could beat themselves less, and that was somehow the goddamn Hurricanes of Miami. Wasn't no Category 5 ass beating, but they still did what they needed to do against A&M in front of 100,000 screaming red asses. I mean, that's impressive. That is impressive. So, well done, Miami. You beat A&M, and A&M, they just got to stop beating themselves. The battered Aggie syndrome is, it's like a cancer that just, you think you've gotten it taken care of and it's gone away. No, it just spread to a different part of the body and started all over again. That's exactly how bad this fucking shit is. Nobody was going to win this game, though, because the winner ends up playing Ohio State, and we all know how that's going to end. So, I mean, fuck. But, yeah, wait, you play Ohio State, Miami? Yeah, I mean, that's the best that I could say about that. The best I can.
Well, there you go. By the way, shout out to Mark Fletcher. What a hell of a day by him. That was probably one of his best performances all season, no doubt. 172 yards out of 17 carries. Pretty much, he was the lone light of this game in terms of offense. That was it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I know. Great day by him. But yeah, the Hurricanes will move on to play in the the Cotton Bowl? Cotton Bowl against Ohio State.
Yeah, it'll be the Cotton Bowl on New Year's Eve, which I will be streaming that one live.
Oh boy,
good luck with that.
I guess I ought to do the same. And
yeah,
no, I'm looking forward to that one. And then I get to pick and choose. Well, actually, no, my chat gets to pick and choose which one I get to stream the next day on New Year's Day. And there was some, of course, some really good ones. Oregon versus Texas Tech. That's going to be a fun one. I'm really looking forward to it. Alabama and Indiana. And then, of course, I'll be it'll be the only time I actually verbally root for Ole Miss as they go and play the Mouse. So, yeah. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it all goes. That's all you can really ask for. But yeah, I think
we'll have the ability to really dive deep into those matchups next week as we get as we approach the dawn of those games. I just, this weekend was fucked up for all the wrong reasons. It really was. It was fucked up in all the wrong reasons. And I just genuinely, I cannot wait for the New Year's bowl games. Cannot wait to watch the remainder of the actual bowl slate and see what happens from there. Although I will say, not a great start with the Potato Bowl today, as Wazoo came into the Smurf turf and beat the shit out of some Aggies. I'm not talking about A&M, obviously. I'm talking about Utah State, poor fuckers.
Yeah, sad. Well, before we go and call it wraps, there's two bowl games in particular that are coming up on Saturday that I want to cover real fast. And you already know which one I want to do first. Yes. Okay, hold on. We got to do the thing first.
You got to do the thing. Oh, God. Oh. God damn it. No!
Woo! It's the Tank Stripe Bowl. Yes. The Tank Stripe Bowl, my favorite. My daggum favorite. All right, well, Penn State and Clemson, two absolute turd stains, both projected to go to the national championship. But this ain't the national championship. This is the Turd Stripe Bowl. So, yeah, unfortunate for them there. But, yeah, Clemson's coming in as a 3-point favorite here. Very close battle we got. What do you, Red, tell me who you think is going to win.
God damn it. Give me Clemson, I think. I don't know. At least Dabo Swinney is still the head coach there, but they don't. Penn State doesn't have a solid quarterback right now. They might have a little bit better of a quarterback with a couple weeks of practice, but Klubnik's still better than their backup, and Randall's a pretty good running back. And if he even plays, I don't fucking know. This isn't shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I doubt we'll see much of Allen and Singleton, if at all.
Yeah,
So,
these guys just fucking suck. But hey, you know what? At the end of the day, man, I just hope that Dabo doesn't forget his own advice.
But just, to win, you got to not lose. I mean, it's just simple as that.
Could have said it better myself. Yeah, I've got Clemson winning this game too. I do think Klubnik is going to have a better day than Grunkmeyer. Grunkmeyer's probably going to have a hard day against that Clemson defense. No matter how bad you think they are, Clemson's got a pretty good defensive front. I think they're going to cause them some trouble. Yeah, I think I don't care how many guys are sitting out. I just think they'll have the better defensive performance. So give me Clemson in that one.
Yeah, what else is there to really say here? It's just we don't know, and
ain't much else other than that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But hey, you know what? At least it gets better. I think
that's exactly right. Well, somewhat, but I don't know. We'll see. Hard to go any down further from where they were just before. So yeah.
Let's talk about them. Let's talk about the game slate because it does get better.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the only one that I think is really, really intriguing. If you guys got any other ones that you want us to cover in mind before we end it, just send a super chat our way and we'll do so. But everyone's favorite Poop Tart Bowl. Now, Notre Dame's a bunch of pansy asses, so of course they jumped out of this game. But in their place from Tate Conference, Georgia Tech. The season did not end the way they wanted it to, but they're 9-3, one of their best years in recent memory. They're coming into this game as a 4.5 dog against BYU. And last time we saw BYU in the postseason, they put belt to ass on Colorado. So I'd be a little bit worried if I were Georgia Tech right here. Now, I don't know if Haynes King is playing in this game. I know the Bears going to be. I'm pretty sure LJ Martin's going to be. Most of their playmakers will be, yeah.
I haven't heard anything about Haynes King opting out. I think he should be playing. It's his last game, and he's not really highly touted as a prospect, I don't think. So I would imagine he's going to play and try to get some more game film on tape before he goes to the league, if he makes it at all. He could end up in the UFL. I don't fucking know.
Who knows? On that note, who do you think's winning?
I would say BYU, but the problem is just they got absolutely exposed in the Big 12 championship and on defense by Texas Tech, and their offense, if it's not firing at 100%, man, Bachmeier, he's young and he shows how young he is with the mistakes he makes. Either way, we're going to have a shootout in this game. Neither one of these teams are known for having a good defense. I'm going to go with the Jackets and a slight upset over the Cougs to put a nice little ribbon on what has been, honestly, a fairly good season for the Bees. What do you think?
I'm going to disagree with you on that one. I've actually got the Cougars here. I don't think it's going to be relatively close either because Georgia Tech, they have struggled immensely against well-loaded defensive fronts. And BYU, that's one thing they've got going for them, is that they've got a pretty loaded defensive front. Their backfield has some questions, I will say that, but their front's really good. We saw that even when they played Texas Tech. Now, in this matchup, it's the Haynes King or bust for Georgia Tech, and even if he isn't playing, that just means their offense is probably going to be way worse because Haynes King is their offense. So on that note, I think the Cougars are going to run away with this. I think the Bears are going to have a great day. And if not him, you best guarantee LJ Martin can because, boy, that Georgia Tech rushing defense, terrible. absolutely terrible. They let Boston College and NC State of all teams run all over them. So, yeah, I've got no problem in saying that I think BYU runs away with this thing.
Okay. On that note, I do have one bowl game I want to add to the docket.
Sure.
The New Mexico
By all
Bowl.
means.
The New Mexico Bowl.
Fair enough. That is a pretty good one. You cannot argue with that.
Yeah.
New Mexico Bowl. Here we go. December 27th. Good old Saturday night bowl game magic. North Texas, the Mean Green, who just came up short of making the playoffs at 11-2. Battle against the Aztecs of San Diego State. They go into this game as a 3.5-point favorite. Now, I don't know about you, but as much as I like San Diego State, they've had a great season. No denying that. They've got a pretty decent defense overall, but I don't think their offense is going to compete. Give me North Texas in a long shot. I think they run away with this thing.
If Drew Mestemaker was not going to be transferring after the bowl game, I would say that he's got a fairly decent. They would have this. This could be a fairly decent game right here. The reason why I like this matchup so much is because of the fact that we really don't know what we're going to get with San Diego State after they completely caved in the final 3 weeks of the season and lost all the momentum in the Mountain West title race. Meanwhile, the Mean Green, at times they've looked like world beaters. I mean, for God's sake, 4,000 passing yards from Mestemaker is absolutely mind-numbing to see from any quarterback at any level of FBS. But my God, do they make so many mistakes, and my God, do they fuck up so much. And Mestemaker really does not know how to keep the ball in the green jerseys when he absolutely has to. So I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be actually kind of close. Maybe a little bit of a shootout happens here. But I agree. I will take the Mean Green in this one to win. But I think it's going to be a good one no matter what.
To be fair, Nagel has more interceptions than Messmaker.
Agreed. But when Mestemaker throws those interceptions is important.
That is true. Cannot argue with that. Yeah. I still think North Texas runs away with this thing, even if Messmaker, which he's not playing, whatever happens, I think I think North Texas overall will have a dominant day offensively. And every game that isn't played against the top contender in the G5, they always have a great day offensively. So give me them to run away with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll score more than 30. Tulane is the only team that prevented them from scoring 30. I think they'll score more than that, obviously. Okay. I don't see North Tech or I don't see San Diego State getting close to that. We'll see. We'll see. I've been wrong before.
Hey, neutral site, and it's a little bit of a further drive from Denton into Mexico than it is for San Diego State. Never knowing this shit. Bowl games are kind of like the ultimate equalizer, especially when you got the transfer portal being involved.
That's true. Cannot argue with that. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to, first off, Brandon Oliver, thank you very much for the 10. Thank you, says. And y'all's last FBS video, Mobile, Alabama caught a straight bullet. It caught me off guard to hear a shout out. Congrats on graduating, Squid. Red, hope you feel better. Well, after the previous week, I'm pretty sure Red is doing much better. And thank you for congratulating me on graduating. I do have the video of my graduation ceremony, and I'm going to include part of that in the finale to Chaos. I've got some great plans for you guys in regards to Chaos. I've already started the collab streak. I'm getting some guys on there. I'll tell you what, I already revealed this on my last live stream, but Mvoss, who you guys know, creates college football content like me and Red here. He's going to be in it. I imagine Red will also be in it, but several other content creators will also be joining the party. So that's going to be very, very fun. Looking forward to it.
Wait, what party?
For my finale of Chaos, the bowl game recaps and the playoff recaps. Yeah. That's going to be very, very fun. By the way, Brandon Oliver said, hope you feel better.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to be it for us tonight, guys. We'll see you guys next week. We've got a lot to go over. It's going to be a jam-packed show next week. It might take 2 hours to get through everything, honestly, because we've got to go over all the over bowl games, the playoff games, and I got to get myself ready for I'm going to be out all day Tuesday. After that game, well, I'm going to be going for the Tennessee game, more than likely. So that's going to be very, very spectacular. Yeah,
Yep.
basically a public protest by attending it. I'm looking forward to that.
Yep.
But all right, guys. Oh,
I
go
am
ahead.
probably going to be. I was just going to plug real quick. I am going to be working pretty hard over the next week on getting back to what I'm kind of more known for, and that is the long form videos that I do enjoy making. So much. I've been working hard on behind the scenes trying to get that shit going. I don't plan on making any more short shit videos. Although, be on the lookout for one little video celebrating both 10,000 subscribers to my YouTube channel and also just general state of the channel update, Q&A as well, coming up next week. Going to get that finished up tonight and put it out on Patreon early, hopefully by tomorrow, and then have it out on YouTube next week, and then really start getting into the final depths of what is going to be probably the biggest Lane Kiffin roast to ever hit the internet.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Hoodie Aways, for the Tuesdays. Happy holidays, Red and Squid. You know it. Yes, to all of you.
You as well.
That's absolutely right. So we're going to go ahead and get on out of here, guys.
Yep. Happy final night of Hanukkah to those that practice.
Yes. That's absolutely right. Well, I appreciate all of y'all for being here. Thank you to everybody watching both our channels for getting us to these amazing milestones that our channels have gotten to over this past weekend. Thank you all so much. I can't explain it enough just how thankful I am for all of you guys. You're all are great, wonderful, phenomenal people. Have a very, very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. Do not forget it. Do not forget it. Hope you guys spend some quality time with your family, your friends, anybody else that you want to go spend time with. And make sure to get your Christmas shopping done. Do not forget that. Got to get to the season of gift giving. That's why they call it that.
Indeed.
Nick Boras, thank you for the 5, says, happy holidays, lads. Sorry for being late, but Western Kentucky going to the New Orleans Bowl champs. I would certainly hope so. We'll see. We'll see. Good luck against Southern Miss, buddy. You are favorites. Who knows?
Surprised it wasn't the Raging Cajuns in that bowl again. They're usually like the mainstays of that thing. They either end up drunk on Bourbon Street and drunk in the Super Bowl.
It's like Hawaii. It's like Hawaii in the Hawaii Bowl. It's like their natural habitat. Yeah.
Speaking of Hawaii and Cal, Christmas Eve in the Hawaii Bowl.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're gonna be having a great time, everybody. But yeah, like I said, spend some quality time with your family. Happy holidays. For me and Red to y'all. And yeah, that's all we got for you guys. So take care. We'll see y'all next week with another edition of the FBS Report. And as always, Power Tardaria and whatever the hell he says.
Christmas trees are really good torches. Just don't light them up until they're nice and dry. Merry Christmas.
See y'all before the New Year's.
Bye-bye.